Is Nintendo finally releasing a Thousand Year Door sequel? And is it on a story we've known about for a long time? So I've been predicting this in multiple videos, but I think we're getting a new Mario RPG this year. It just follows the trend of there being a new Mario RPG at least every 2 years, and the last ones we got were in 2024. And of course, one of those was Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door remake, which opens the possibility for Nintendo finally returning to this style of game. And while it's only been 2 years since that came out, or a little less than 2 years, we haven't gotten a brand new Paper Mario game since 2020 in the Origami King. So that's why I do believe we're getting a new Paper Mario this year, and I think we already know the story to it. So if you played the Thousand Year Door, whether you played the original or the remake, you probably remember Luigi in it. While he wasn't important to the main story at all, you would see him in Rogueport with different partners, and he would tell you very long stories about his adventure where he was summoned to the Waffle Kingdom and had to find the marvelous compass. And something charming about this is that there's different details, like it's not really known exactly what's happening. Like there's books you can buy in the game, and it's pretty ambiguous. Like if you look online, there's a lot of theories about if what he's talking about is actually happening, because there are some conflicting details. And now there actually is a fan game called Paper Luigi the Marvelous Compass, and I haven't really heard about it recently. I'm not sure what's going on with it, but I think this would be a perfect opportunity for Nintendo to make a sort of side game in the Paper Mario series, because a lot of people have said that we're not getting a new Paper Mario game this year just because we got the Thousand Year Door remake 2 years ago. Okay, and let's say that was the case, they're not going to make a full Paper Mario game this year, which I don't necessarily buy. What if this is just a smaller game? So it would obviously have the same art style as the Thousand Year Door remake, and what if it's just a smaller, maybe like $40 game where you follow Luigi's adventure and find out what really happens? And yes, I know that there's a lot that could be done, and I know that it might not be the easiest thing to put together an unreliable story, but there's something that definitely can be done here. Like, I want to see the different characters here, because there's so many unique characters explained here, and we don't know what they look like, we don't know what the whole kingdom looks like. So this could definitely be a good, not mini game, but a good shorter game, maybe a few chapters, since it doesn't have as much as what would be needed for a full Paper Mario game unless they added a lot. Like maybe it's 5 chapters instead of the usual 8 or something like that. And I think that would hold over a lot of Paper Mario fans, since we haven't gotten a new game in 6 years and we haven't gotten a traditional Paper Mario game in over 20 years. I haven't really been a fan of the previous 3 games. I recently just played Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door on Switch. I had only played the original before, and it's still as fantastic of a game as ever. Like, I wanted to just keep playing through the game because it was that good, and I never felt that way playing Sticker Star, Color Splash, or Origami King. So having a Paper Luigi game in the same format as like a spin-off, I think would do very well. Luigi's obviously a lot different than his brother, would have a different moveset, would have different abilities, and I just think there's so much Nintendo could do creatively with it. Now, if you asked me a couple of years ago if this would ever happen, I would say no, and I'd say it's still not a guarantee, and far from a guarantee. But the Thousand Year Door remake just kind of feels like it was testing the water for something, whether it's bringing back that Paper Mario format, or maybe even doing some sort of spin-off. And then also, what if we don't even get this story? What if we get a different Paper Luigi story? Something that takes place after this adventure. Maybe he recaps it in his own way. Maybe there's some flashbacks or something, but it's a mini adventure with Luigi. Closest thing we've gotten to something like this was New Super Luigi U, which was basically a DLC for New Super Mario Bros. U, but it wasn't like actually a DLC because you could get it separately. And it was a cheaper game that solely focused on Luigi, and it was a very creative game. It took a pretty stale format by that point. New Super Mario Bros. Was already, like, it had 4 games in 6 or 7 years, something like that, and just changed it up a little bit. So I would love to see something like that for the Paper Mario series. Obviously, I would prefer a brand new Thousand Year Door 2, like a sequel to that, or a Super Paper Mario 2, which personally, I like Super Paper Mario better, but that's a little less realistic than a new Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door. But I think this is a good option too. Now, what could this be called? Because if Mario is in it, it's probably not going to be called Paper Mario. I think just calling it Super Luigi works, because if you remember, that is what the book series is called. So the books themselves do lie, but you do find Luigi in Rogueport, and he supposedly tells the truth there. But again, there's a lot of confusion as to what actually happens. Like, I think that's a perfect name for it, Super Luigi, based on this. And then something else going a little off topic is, what if Nintendo actually made like a physical set of these books? Like, what if they maybe expanded upon it, had some artwork in it? Like, that would be something that would never happen, but I mean, we got Rosalina's Storybook, a physical version of that. I never thought would happen. And that did take, 18 years after the original release? We're at 22 years after the release of Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door. So who knows, but would love something like that, since we rarely ever get Paper Mario merch. And something else I want to discuss is, in the past couple years, the past 3 years or so, Nintendo remade, obviously, the Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, but they also made Super Mario RPG, a remake of that. And these were 2 games that were not recent games. These games came out over 20 20 years before their respective remakes. So Nintendo bringing it back on Switch could simply just be, we wanted to make these games for the new generation, we were looking for something to make and decided to make this. Or it could mean more. It could mean that Nintendo wants to make a Super Mario RPG 2. It could mean that they want to bring back Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door style. And it's pure speculation. There's been no rumors on this. I just do think it is very interesting how they've done this. They brought back 2 classic Mario RPGs with unique characters, unique stories, unique environments, after how many years of them just having the blandest locations and characters they could have. Now again, it could just be a coincidence, it could just be they want to remake these, but I think it means a little more, and I like to think it means a little more, because Nintendo has started to move in the right direction for some games, or at least some decisions, and I'm just talking about gameplay. Like, we got Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which finally moved on from New Super Mario Bros., which, don't get me wrong, are not bad games, they're all fun games, but it was just getting too stale, and they finally moved on from that. We got Mario and Luigi Brothership, which I don't think is a great game, I think it's a good game, but it did at least move the series in the right direction after Paper Jam did almost nothing unique with its characters. So even if things aren't where they were before, like with the 2000s, with the 90s, 2000s, even some early 2010 Mario RPGs, I feel like we are at least going in the right direction finally. And whether that means a Paper Luigi game, Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door 2, even a remake of the original Super Paper Mario, I just have a feeling we're getting something this year, and I think it's going to be soon, because we're already close to February, and pretty much every year now Nintendo makes a February Direct, and we don't really know much about anything for Nintendo in 2026. We know a handful of games like Tomodachi Life, a new Fire Emblem, Yoshi, Mario Tennis Fever, which comes out soon, Splatoon Raiders, but that's only a few games. And for the first full year of the Switch 2, especially after investors were not happy with Nintendo last year, like the Christmas season, I can see Nintendo wanted to make a big splash. And even though these games take a while to develop, it's not like they would have just started making this and they're going to show it off because they had a bad holiday season. I could see them maybe showing some projects off earlier, like maybe this doesn't come out until later in the year, but they might be more likely to show it off just to say, hey, we have a lot of games coming out for the Switch 2, to try and make fans and investors happy. But I could also see this being like a May release, because the past 2 Paper Mario games have come out very shortly after they were announced. So let's say we get an announcement in February, and then we get it in either May or June or July, sometime in the summer. Because as it stands now, I don't think we know any of their summer releases. I think we just know about a few spring releases. And all I'm saying is either a Paper Luigi game or some sort of good Paper Mario game would be perfect to slot into this. So let me know what you think about this. I'm sure a lot of people just don't want to see a Paper Luigi game, but I think it's at least worth considering, and especially since we got technically a new Paper Mario game, not new, but a remake of a Paper Mario game a couple of years ago, this could be something good to hold fans over until the next Paper Mario is ready. So let me know in the comments, do you think we're getting this? What do you think we're getting for Mario RPGs this year? And be sure to subscribe.